Welcome to Kick It with Dr. Kelz. This is episode 5, where we are digging in to mental health. Today, I have two special guests on with me. The only criteria for today was to be a man, right? Because it's so important to discuss men and mental health. So the only criteria today was to be a man. So as we start this chat, if the men that are joining me would like to say about where they work, what they do, and if it comes up naturally in conversation, that is what I want. I want conversation. I want authentic conversation, right? I want to be able to chit chat. So we're not selling anything here. We're not promoting. We're just real talking, right? And that's what Kicking It with Kel is all about. Um, we are talking about men and mental health because statistics say that men are experiencing mental health challenges at notable rates. They're less likely to get help and be diagnosed, and they're much more likely to die by suicide. Um, this is why this is important. And as we continue the conversation, we're going to be looking at statistics and things like that to kind of nail this home. My goal is to continue with this mental health series all year long. So, men, if you want to join the conversation, I would be more than happy to have you. So, welcome with me, Keith Bryant and Jamal Hall, and they are going to be real talking with me today about mental health. So, the first thing I want to ask you guys to get our conversation started is you answered the call. I put a posting out and I asked, was anyone interested in the conversation to discuss men and mental health? So, why was this important to you to be a part of this? Why did you reach out to me?
Jamal, would you like to start, sir?
Sure. Good morning, Dr. Cornish, Mr. Bryant. How you doing? I thought it was very important because I felt that um, the way that I was brought up, it was always taught that expressing yourself and showing any emotion correlated with being soft. And I felt that it was a good platform to be able to be what I would perceive to what I would call a real man, and be able to be an example of a person that is an open book, and I still handle my business, and I cry like everybody else, and I express myself, and I don't feel that it's something that is embraced in in our community as far as men being able to um put a premium on self-care, for them to express themselves. And I don't feel like it's a normality, or it's not as normal as it should be. So I thought that would be a good opportunity to be able to have a conversation, not only as far as my own experience as a father, but even on a professional level, when we are encountering certain things that we are, as far as like I'm in a professional capacity where I'm constantly putting out fires, dealing with students, dealing with disgruntled parents, and sometimes teachers or whatever. And the accumulative effect of having this, you know, pretty much on an everyday basis, it can wear on you a little bit. So I thought that it would be advantageous to have a conversation and be able to you know, show that some relatability to the audience, and kind of talk and show that we kind of go through things also as professionals.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Well, I
That's what
uh,
you get. That's what you get because every time we get on here, you're like, "Oh, you can go first, such a gentleman." And then when someone goes first, you get upset. You were
no,
like, "Oh,
it's
I should
like,
have went
woo.
first. Oh man."
No, that was dead on as far as, and I can relate, but it goes even deeper for me, which you know, Dr. Kells, but you're Kelly to me. Um, I have been at my job 31 years, but 32 years ago, I really went through something very traumatic because I personally tried to take myself out. I'm no longer ashamed of it because it was a wake up call. I actually believe that that was God steering me in the right direction, and it was traumatic at the time. But when I look back, it was a learning experience as Jamal said. You get raised as a man, especially as a black man, to be hard, tough. Society reinforces that through our music and through how we're brought up. And it's everything has to be hard, strong. Emotions are shunned upon, even in relationships.
Mm.
But going through what I went through, big wake up call. And it helped me discover who I really am. And it made me a better man to have survived that and to really delve into who I am and to recognize. And I try to reinforce that at work because I work at Pineland Learning Center. Like I said, 31 years, and my incident took place 30. Wait, did I just get it messed up? I've been there 31 years, but 32 years ago when the incident took place. So, like I said, I try to encourage young men, and we talk about it with students on a daily basis about the images and what they try to live up to. And it's really sad what we're putting out there. You know, that pressure is immense. So, as a grown man, if it's the pressure is that intense on you, imagine what it is for a young man trying to figure out who he is. And that's why a lot of our youth do some of the things that they do, unfortunately. So that's why I answered the call.
Okay, I love it. So both of you are stand-up men, um, strong in the community. You have a care for children and a care for people. That is a commonality that you both have. And you both, from my perspective, show your emotional self, right? You show vulnerability. Um, you're not men that follow that age-old masculinity thing that men can't show emotion. Um, Even though in your younger years it may have looked like that, but growing as an adult and becoming a man and understanding that masculinity is not always tied to how we express our feelings and emotions. So, Keith, I want to thank you for sharing that, suicide was something that you dealt with, right? Because that takes a lot of strength and courage to put yourself out there like that, because we all know as men, when we start talking about mental health, um, you're frowned upon like you're weak, just like you guys said, like, oh, I'm weak. And you're not weak. You're allowed to express yourself. And I think that that's where we've dropped the ball. Um, Statistics, men die by suicide at a rate about 4 times higher than women. In the US, that's about 22.8 per 100,000 males. That was in 2023. The crazy part about it is, even though more women attempt, more men complete because they use lethal means, right? These are real statistics. I get my statistics from the CDC, NAMI, mental health organizations. Um, Men account for 79% of all suicide deaths in the United States, right? So we're not even talking about culture or ethnicity or anything like that, right? We're just talking men, 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 men. Piggybacking on top of that, nearly 20% of adult men, about 24.6 million, experienced a mental health condition in the past year. Only 42% of those men with a mental illness receive professional treatment. Roughly 6 million men in the US experience depression annually. It often goes undiagnosed because it presents as irritability, anger, physical pain instead of sadness, right? Um, Substance abuse, men are more likely, twice as likely as women, to meet the criteria for alcohol and substance abuse disorders when used as a form of self-medication.
It's a
Right.
way to mask it also. We
Yeah.
might feel like we're down, but instead of saying we're down, I'm stressed from work, I'm tired. Uh, and then we mask it with drinking or other things. And then that's kind of the escape instead of saying, I'm depressed.
I think
Jamal, I think we're okay with the feedback. You can just leave the microphone. You don't
Okay.
have to.
okay.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like we're good.
yeah. I think Mr. Bryant had a really good point, and you allude to it in your book, hats of
It's not
things.
about me, Jamal.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
but
not about
Got to
me.
give the flowers, though. Got to give the
Listen,
flowers.
but thank you because I just want to let you guys know, even though that book is written in the feminine tone, it is highly relevant to
it is.
everyone.
It
But
Yes.
is.
men, I am answering the call. I am adapting it for your voice. So you don't have
Yeah.
to feel awkward every time there's she. But go ahead, Jamal. Thank you for my
Well,
flowers.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, because I know you don't want me to talk about the book, but there is a part of it that talks about how we, especially on a professional level, we instead of just calling it, like Mr. Bryant said, instead of calling it what it is, depression, we just think of other creative names for it. I'm just tired. Or I just got to do this, or I just got to do that. Like, nah, you're depressed, and the more that you're not getting the proper repetition in expressing that you're depressed, a lot of times I think it exacerbates whatever underlying issues, even on a physical,
It
um,
manifests itself physically.
Absolutely.
yeah, that comes from it.
Yeah.
So, I think that's very much spot on, and that's the benefit of of podcasts and things that draw attention to it is I think when we can make it an everyday conversation, an everyday way of life where we're having therapeutic dialogue in every facet of our life, professional, family, spirituality, the more and more it'll have a more residual effect not only with ourselves but the people that we work with and the people that we care about in our families. So that's a big part of it also, as far as whatever we're going through on an emotional um level, it being passed on. I mean, feelings of anger, feelings of sadness that comes from depression being passed on to the people that's in our circles. You know what I mean? Like in social work and psychology, we talk about transference and countertransference. When you're passing on the same way that your clients pass on the emotions when we're counseling them, I think that we can have the same adverse effect on the people in our circles. You know what I mean? A lot of depression, a lot of things that I have gone through is directly transferred from seeing a certain level of dysfunction from my own mother and father, who were awesome people, but at times they were toxic. So my perception of the way that you handle depression, that you handle anger, was totally skewed from the time I was little because of what I saw, and it's something to be mindful about when we exercise or when we don't exercise self-care. You know what I mean?
I think it's really important, Jamal. What you just said was we need to have more therapeutic conversations.
Mhm.
I want to reframe that, right? So, audience, I don't know if you know, but Jamal is a social worker as well. And Keith could have been one, right? If he went to school for it. So you have a lot of social emotional information here. There's therapeutic here. I am a licensed counselor as well. When you work with kids, you become a counselor. You said more therapeutic conversation, and I want to hone in on that and I want to reframe it. And I want to reframe it because as men, you don't want to hear therapy. That's the wrong word. So in the attempt to normalize it, right? How about let's just talk about how we feel?
Mm,
right?
Mhm.
It don't have to be therapy. I have found with all these years of experience, most people just need to talk, right? It might not be um, a significant mental health issue. And that is basically the foundation of my platform. When you hear mental health, most people automatically go to mental illness. I proved it with my research doing my dissertation. You say mental health, people are like, yeah, schizophrenia, bipolar. Those are very significant mental illnesses. That's not the common person's experience,
right.
right? So, seasonal affective disorder, right? Seasonal depression, that's something that, um, anxiety. You tell me one person that doesn't have anxiety. So the language is, how are you supposed to go to your bro and say, yeah, I feel like a failure, or I'm being disrespected in my own home, or, all these different things going on that contribute to feelings. So when you look at mental health being on a continuum, right? The same way anything else is, right? You got black on one side, white on the other. It's gray in the middle.
Mhm.
So mental health, excellent, is on one side. Mental illness, worst possible case, institutionalization on the other side. Where do you fall on a continuum? It can change every day. But there are some people who do have chemical imbalances, right? That do need medication. So it's not about the therapeutic conversation. I believe it starts with how we are taught to express how we feel. Because from my perspective, you just need to shut up when things go wrong,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
You're a punk. You better not say nothing. What goes on in this house stays in this house.
Mhm.
What you crying for, you little sissy, you little baby?
Give you a reason to cry. Yeah.
Right. And we can keep going and
Yeah.
going and going.
But you know what, Kelly? You just hit on something that I 100%, 110% agree. Just conversation. As we all know, when you say something and you have a friend or one of your brothers or whoever you're having a conversation with say, I know how you feel, that's tremendous. I have noticed as I've gotten older and the friends that I have, and obviously your circle changes over the years, I have seen over the past couple of years more of my friends feel more comfortable sharing certain things that we never talked about. And it's been hugely beneficial because some of my friends have even admitted, you know what? What's that age old phrase? I thought I was the only one, you know? So when you hear somebody else say, man, I know how you feel, I'm dealing with that too, no matter what it is, it's
Right.
huge. It's huge to hear someone else say, I understand how you feel.
Right. And it's
So, like,
because everybody has emotions. We all have the same ones.
right,
So
right.
it applies to everyone. No one is untouched. And that's why I believe that this is so important because for some reason, societal expectations have defined how you should and should not respond to emotional distress, to
Yeah.
traumatic incidences, all these different things. So I think we're about 20 minutes in that
Oh, really?
we do the wheel, right? The
Here it
wheel.
goes.
So
Here it
this
goes, people.
this is here it goes. So for those of you watching, coming back on the replay, I have this handy dandy little random mental health wheel. So let me go ahead and share that
Oh, yeah, this is going to be
that
fun.
my guest, I'm going to spin the wheel and then I have some questions here that are random and I promise they won't be too harsh. All right, so let's see what we got going on. All right, who's going first? Hurry up, hurry up.
I'll go
Keith.
first.
All right, Keith. All right, so we are looking for a question under stress, anger, and emotional control. All
Ooh.
right, let me make a good one. Okay. Oh, I like this one. Um, When you feel overwhelmed, what is a pattern that you think you fall into?
Oh boy. A previous pattern or a pattern that I've, you know, because I want to be
I mean, but we
consistent.
learn, we grow. So it can be a healthy pattern. It could have been a pattern that wasn't healthy, just, past or
Okay.
present.
All right. Well, guess what? I'll give both. Uh, Unhealthy patterns in the past is suppressed it, ignored it.
Okay.
But that's what also led up to my nervous breakdown
Okay.
because once again, the world was telling me, what's wrong with you? You have a beautiful home. You got the wife, you got the kid, and it wasn't, all I needed was the picket fence, but I didn't feel right.
Jamal, don't be stressing over there. You'll have it easy one. He's stressing like, oh my God, what question am I going to get?
I know because these are good. So that the old habit was just to suppress it, to act like it wasn't there. But I think
Okay.
Jamal mentioned the fact that it builds on you. And physically, I was in like this intense mode all the time, but did not understand why. And I blamed it on the job. It was always the job. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. But there were other things, underlying factors going on, childhood, everything that I
Right.
never dealt with. Never
Right.
dealt with.
No
Just
healing, no resolution.
nope. And guess what? Didn't know what was going on. That was the worst part. That was the worst part. But then once again, going through what I went through, and then when I got the help, whoo, it's like, oh wow, did this is what's been wrong all these years?
Right. This is how I was functioning.
Right.
You've been
And I
surviving
like,
well.
and Jamal said it too, affecting other people's lives and not realizing it was me. I was transferring. And of course, energy, we're all energy and vibe people. And I look back and I think about the vibe and the energy I was putting out
Yeah.
because I didn't know who I was. So how can I deal with anybody else? So over the years, and I'm especially proud of where I'm at now, I sit and have those conversations with myself to say, okay, what's going on? What,
Self-awareness is so important.
oh
Being
man,
self-aware. And we lack that when we're younger, I believe.
yes.
That's why this
Well, because you
conversation
know
is
what?
important now.
It's hard to look at self. It's hard
Yeah.
to look at self. And I'm proud to say, and you know me very well, Kelly, I can look at self.
Mhm.
And even in therapy, I've had my therapist say, Keith, you're very intuitive. You really are honest with yourself. And guess what? To me, if you're truly trying to make changes, you do have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. It's your emotional intelligence, which can be developed. And I don't think people understand that either. It's
Yes.
a lot of work, right? You got to put a lot of work in
A lot of looking in the
for that.
mirror, which people
Absolutely.
tend
Right. You
not to
have to.
do.
You
It's
don't have a
easier to
choice.
blame this one, that one, this one, but you got
I
to look
think
at
it
self
turns
first.
into you don't have to blame. We're just looking at it to learn and understand.
Good point. Good
It's
point.
an understanding, right? I don't need to blame anyone for my actions. Are there contributors, reasons why I chose to do the things I did? Absolutely, but that's not the blame,
Right.
you know? So, all right, Jamal, you ain't getting off
You're
the
up,
hook.
brother. You're up.
You ain't getting off the hook. You ready?
I'm
All
ready.
right. My handy dandy papers out here and save my will. Ugh.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was gonna say mental health, coping, and growth. Okay. Hmm. uh. Oh, I think this one is fitting for you. How often, Jamal, do you let yourself rest without feeling lazy or guilty?
Ooh.
Because if you know Jamal, Jamal is a workaholic.
Um,
He is a workaholic. This man, yeah, I'm putting your business out there. He'll take a nap in the car, 10 minutes. He said that's all he need, a power nap. Right? So Jamal, you are a workaholic. So How do you allow yourself rest without feeling lazy or guilty because you need a break?
Um, Not enough. And just to give everyone some more insight on what I do on a professional level, like Dr. Cornish, I'm an administrator at a school. I'm an assistant principal, but I'm also a therapist, an IIC therapist. So, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, how certain things are passed down. So, my father, who passed in 2015, was a workaholic, and he's from down south. So it was part of the machismo thing that you have to be a provider. You have to do this. What you doing? Just
Mhm.
sitting around. Y'all go outside and play. Y'all go outside and do something. You ain't just going to sit around this and that. So at the age of 49, all I've seen, my father worked for the federal government, but he also had, when the phone card machines were out, I don't know, remember everybody had their phone cards to do this and that. He had phone cards set up everywhere. He had a janitorial service. He had a lot of different things. So, and me and my brother, we talk about it a lot, how a lot of these things have been passed down, and it's not the healthiest thing. Um, and I'm not good at it. I'm not good. I'm trying to be because I don't feel that with everything that my father did, I think he was so consumed with with earning a dollar that he never got to see the fruits of his labor. So there are certain times that I try. I'm still trying to get better at it. But life is a process. I just came back from Jamaica. If anyone see me post, I never post when I'm away. So if you're saying like he's posting like he's in Jamaica, never. But I'm trying to get better on taking advantage of small things, even seeing the value in doing nothing, which is hard for me because of course, not to be overly redundant, but I grew up and just like we all did. Y'all do something. You ain't just sitting around and go outside and play. You want to do something. Yeah, you don't tell me there ain't nothing to do. This and that.
Right.
But when you're everybody on here gives so much of themselves to their jobs. You know what I mean? You at Pineland, you at your school, and me at my school. And then there's the family component. We do for our kids. Mom, when you get a chance, can you? And my brother always tells me that he says, you know what? He said, you know what? Nobody prays for the pastor. So my brother's a minister, and he always talks about how you're always called to preach the funerals, the weddings. Someone's having a baby, you go out there, and deaconship is like that in churches also. There's you picking up this person, that one, and very rarely do you gravitate to the necessary resources where you're taking care of yourself. So I'm getting better at spending time with family. I'm getting better at sitting my butt down somewhere and not being attached to my email, which is tough at our positions because we're always, you know, there's always crazy stuff happening.
In
No
demand.
comment. No
Yeah,
comment.
yeah, there's always crazy stuff happening where I have to have my email on and you have these notifications. But I'm still trying to get better, and I think it makes it easier when we make sure that we keep people in our social circles that are trying to be accessible and trying to take care of themselves therapeutically also. You know what I mean? That's when you can have more therapeutic dialogue with people and people can have some relatability and even if a person doesn't necessarily if they haven't gone through what you've gone through, but to have people, whether it be your wife, your girlfriend, or your brother, whoever that says, I don't know what you're going through, but I am here if you need to talk. And if you have people around you like that, I think the stress level, the anxiety level, the depression level, or whatever issues you might have gets a little bit better. But I'm still working on it. One thing I always tell my students that are going through stuff when we talk about maturation is who I was, who I am, and who I will be, maybe three different people, and neither version of myself would hang out with the other.
I agree with that. Yes, yes, I
Nothing
agree.
in common with the Amity Heights 22-year-old Steel Reserve 211 drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing, or whatever. So,
Found a
but
picture. I was drinking Boone's Farm. Like, what? What?
Jamal, here's a quick little phrase. You cannot continue to take care of others if you don't take care of yourself. And I
yeah.
That's
had
right.
to learn the hard way
Mhm.
because of once again, just different times in life where I was so focused on and work ethic, the job. Woo, Pineland has gotten its share from me. And only the past couple of years, I look back and to tell you the truth, I kind of regret the sacrifices I made for the job. And
Yeah.
now, no, 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 no.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
First thing they tell you when you're on the airplane, when they're going over the rules, is there's oxygen mask. Make sure yours is on first
Before you
before
put,
you try to
yes,
assist.
yes,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
Right.
sense.
Our cars, you know what I mean? We take care of our vehicles more than we take care of ourselves. The oil lights and the gas light. And back in the day, that thing used to be on close to empty. We just keep riding. Now we've got all this different technology that says, oh, my gas light is on. I got to get to the such and such. Oh, my oil light. Oh, I got to make an appointment this there. But our body sends us signals. Signals.
And we won't go to the doctor.
We
And
go to the doctor.
once again, those
Won't
are things I've changed. Listen, let's do the blood work. Let's do this. I'm running my doctor. He's just going to have to be tired of me
Mhm.
because
Right.
we normally ignore those things. And that's part of the mental health too.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Your physical health, mental health, it's connected. I always say that, and hopefully this year, you guys will be seeing this side of me, but I always say that mental health is driving the car. Physical health is in the passenger seat,
Ooh,
right?
Mm.
yes, yes.
Because if you're physically ill, it affects your mental, right? When you're physically fine, it affects your mental. If you're mentally ill, you can feel it in your body, right? So where we store trauma and all that stuff. So I am mental health, mental health, mental health all day, first and foremost. Your mental health is right. You're going to be able to deal with anything else. So I believe mental health drives the car,
Oh,
right?
well, look at some of the phrases. Look good, feel good, look
Right.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. The past 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago, I got rushed to the hospital, and I found I had gallstones. But that was the least of my concerns. But
Ouch.
because of the stress from the pain, my blood pressure has been through the roof, which I never had an issue before. So dealing with work and the children at school, the stress level, I felt like crap. I felt like I looked like crap. And one hand, just everything, it was crazy. Trying to do the job, feeling terrible mentally and physically. So, like you said, it's all intertwined.
I
And,
agree.
it's like when you throw on your favorite piece of wardrobe or something and you walk around feeling good, looking good.
Yeah, that fresh haircut.
Yes,
Oh, wait a minute,
yes.
y'all don't have no hair. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Shh. Don't say anything.
I ain't
Shh.
saying nothing.
Don't say
This is
nothing.
part of
That was a term of endearment. Shh. Because I love y'all. That's all. That's all it was.
BBC, ball by choice. Ball
So
by choice.
I think it's important. I'm going to throw a couple more statistics out here because I believe these statistics are validating everything that you guys are saying. And it's important because this is why the dialogue is important, right? Cultural norms and stigma contribute to underreporting and underdiagnosis of mental illness in men. Societal expectations and traditional masculinity continue to act as barriers to care. 40% of men report they will not talk to anyone about their mental health due to fear of appearing weak or being a burden. 86% of men view being a provider as a defining trait of manhood. When they face financial strain, they are 16 times more likely to report suicidal thoughts. Men are statistically more likely to use a problem solving approach, feeling like a personal failure if they cannot fix their mental health on their own. Did
Oh,
any of that
that
resonate with either of you?
definitely. Once again, we're brought up to fix things. A woman shares something and we automatically feel like I got to fix it when maybe she wanted the ear, but it's just our mentality. We got to fix it. And if we can't, like you said, we feel like we failed. The stress uh, from that, being that provider, it's really unbelievable how we don't recognize how much pressure that puts on men.
It's really unbelievable that idea of perfectionist, being perfectionist, um, have to be perfect, can't fail. It just like dawned on me that like that would be a trait that would be associated with men. I can't provide, so I feel like a failure. Like you're not going to get everything right all the time. So as a recovering perfectionist, right? Mine is a little bit different, like type A all day. That's what I do. And it's a trauma response. I don't know if you guys knew that, but look it up. Um, you're fighting perfectionism.
Yeah,
You got to get it right. Because if you don't, you're a failure. That's crazy.
It is. It is.
Wow. See, City, just nuggets just drop in my head sometime. I never conceptualized it like that before.
yeah, and it's worse when the people that we have in our social and professional circles, they navigate in a way where it gives us confirmation on those traits, or it validates the what I mean, the messed up thinking that we've had since we was young, that we should be conducting ourselves as such. Oh, we'll get Mr. Hall. We got this grown up parent. We'll just get him. I mean, his side. I'm scared too. I'm scared he might shoot me when I go up front to talk to the parent too. And just because I'm
Fear is real. Fear is real.
yeah.
And it's
I don't want to.
crazy.
Oh, well, you just have. Well, we need a male. We need a big, strong male to handle this problem. No. He's gonna punch me in my face too. Now I might be able to handle it. I might be able to break his habit.
Right.
That is a perfect example, and I want to share for the people who understand what I do. Well, you guys know what I do, but um, I am the crisis team leader at Pineland Learning Center, also the truancy officer, which is not as much as a factor. We used to pick up kids. We don't pick up kids for legal
Yeah,
reasons
we did.
anymore. Yeah, we'll be at your house at 4 in the morning and you pick them
Yeah,
to school.
I remember
Remember
them
them
days.
days, Callie?
Yes, I remember.
But Jamal pointed out the fact that uh, even the expectation of, okay, let's go get the crisis team, and having to go in there, which has been something I've been dealing with the past year. The stress of when people say, oh, well, just go in, just don't let it bother you. What I'm getting frustrated with is people thinking I'm supposed to be able to just hit a switch in a very intense crisis situation, and they're forgetting the biological aspect. Adrenaline is still running through me.
Right.
And like a football player who is used to going 100 miles an hour to hit somebody and tackle them, and now they've got to grab a flag. That adrenaline doesn't just fade away; it's built up. And even though the situation might not get physical because we're a hands-on school, doesn't mean I haven't had that physiological response. And that's in my, what does it create? Cortisol?
Oh
Come on,
yeah. Yeah.
that's still
Yeah, that's why
present.
I can't get this weight off.
Okay. So that buildup of the pressure, and then just the fact that like you had said, Jamal, oh, go get Mr. Bryant. Okay, I'm walking in and I'm thinking, all right, is he gonna hit me?
Right.
Did we miss a weapon?
Right.
What other kids are going to get involved, and all
Right.
that right in that
Right.
moment, and you're just ah. Even if nothing happens, that still builds up, and that's what I've been dealing with as far as my stress level
Yeah.
past
That's a
year.
lot. Yeah. Well, we are making good time. It's almost 10:45. Yeah.
Damn,
So
it's,
when it's good, it flows. And this topic is bottomless,
we
right? We
got to
could go on
continue
and
this,
on.
Kelly.
And I want to continue it. I want to continue the conversation individually as panels. Again, I'm making an all call. If you know any men that want to join the conversation, I want to keep this mental health series going specifically for our men. I was told before that men don't want to hear anything a woman has to say, and they can't be vulnerable with a woman. And how can a woman lead men into healing, right? Um, I call cap in my young adult voice today. That's bull.
And I
So here
holler,
I am, and I
amen.
am not letting anyone tell me what I can and what I cannot do when it comes to the healing process. It's what I do. I care. A lot of people don't know. I have three brothers, right? I was raised with brothers. So I have a soft spot in my heart for men, right? I don't think that there is enough focus on cultivating the emotional intelligence. And I believe it starts early. I see kids in my practice, I see kids as a teacher. Many, many years that when you ask that right question, the boys, they melt because nobody asks. Nobody asks. So, with that being said, I want you to think about if you could give, I'm going to say your young adult self, the highest um, mental illness rate is among the 18 to 24-year olds,
Yes.
right? So we know developmentally, they're trying to figure it out, right? What am I going to do for a career? Some of them are kicked out of their house at 18. I think I'm an adult and I'm really not. There's lots of different things going on. So think about 18 to 24, right? Think about that age group. What would you tell yourself or someone else from that age group about mental health?
You want to go, Jamal?
Um, I would just put a premium on putting the right people um in your circle. I grew up. I was one of the people that I grew up around a lot of I guess I can call them friends, associates that had a mannerism and way of life that was the total antithesis to how I grew up. Uh, Criminals, hardened criminals that I still have relationships with to this day. They can't come to my home. But if I saw them getting jumped or whatever, I'd be right there. But you know what I mean, this and that. And I would just put a premium on gravitating um towards more positive people. I think from my own personal experience, it takes the um it takes the brain work out of a lot of different things when you just have when you gravitate towards mentors that have been where you're at, and it goes the other way too. So I always tell people, a lot of times practice makes perfect was always thought of as a positive thing. But when it comes to stress, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to how to effectively dialogue and get positive outcomes, practice makes perfect. You can also be really good um, and be very effective at being non-effective. You know what I mean? So it's important to have a way about you where you're always encompassing and incorporating a lot of positive people in your circle. And I think that you'll have more of a positive outcome when you constantly surround yourself with more positive people. And that was not the case with me from the ages of 18 to 24, because just where I grew up. And I had some solid relationships. Um, and in the past, I've compared it to a person, for lack of a better analogy, a person that has very bad hygiene, and they surround themselves with other people that have bad hygiene. And of course, if you say um, Do I stink? They're like, nah, you smell good to me, bro. Are you all right? So
No.
you
You
never,
good?
yeah. So
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 what I hear you saying, Jamal, is choose your circle wisely.
right,
Go against the grain.
100,
Don't go with the mold, right?
100, 100%. Because
Okay, I think that that's great advice.
yeah,
I think it's great advice. All right. What do you have, Mr. Bryant?
Well, you started off, and I was thinking about, I thought you were going to say, what would I tell my younger self? Um, and I was blessed, but it was one of them things where I had the good influences as far as how my mother raised me to be an individual and not just follow the crowd. But because of my insecurities during those early years, I wasn't true to myself. I didn't get caught up with the friends like Jamal mentioned. I had friends who were into all kinds of things, but they were good
Right.
friends because they wouldn't subject me or pull me into their world. So they were good friends.
Mm-hmm.
But because of my insecurities growing up, I never was true to who I really was. Uh,
Okay.
as you know, growing up in Millville, especially the age during the time when I was growing up, very racial. So, obviously I'm black, but because,
No,
yeah,
no,
shocking.
no
But
way.
to live in Millville,
And
you
ball.
know, if you could finish a sentence and speak properly because of the way I was raised, you was a white boy. But
Right.
among the white people,
You
I
were
was
articulate.
black.
Yeah, you were articulate.
So I always just dealt with the insecurity of who I really was.
Yeah.
At that time, if you like Prince, brothers wasn't supposed to like Prince
I
back
will make
then.
sure that I invite you back when we talk about identity.
Yes. Oh, listen, you're gonna help me write my book.
Ah, well, there you go. Y'all heard it first here. Do
Yeah,
that a lot. I do
because
that a
it was
lot.
definitely an identity crisis because trying to fit in. But if I had to, just to cut to the point, if I had to tell my younger self or what I try to tell the kids I work with, be who you are. Stop trying to fit in where it's not you.
Our friend Jesse put in the chat, you are the company you keep. It's real, right? So I think
Yes.
that that's a great way to summarize it. So we are at 10:50 and I'm excited because I think we could just keep going and going and going, but I need to be consistent and I'm just excited that I was talking to people. So those of you who've been watching my individual videos, you know how difficult it is for me to talk to myself. It's very awkward. Even one of my children was like, you need to loosen up. And I'm like, I can't because I just, talking to myself, but you guys know me, so I can be myself, and it feels good just to not feel so tight and stiff trying to make a video. So thank you for being my first guest, my first live guest. So I'm excited about this. Like I feel really good going into this in 2026. I want to reiterate again, men, if you want to join the conversation, let me know. Guys, you want to come back? Let me know. You want to
Well,
bring a friend with you? Let me know.
I
This
want to thank you.
conversation is so important, and I am not taking my foot off the gas pedal for this in 2026. So, I just want to model a quick check-in, something you guys can take with you that you can ask the people around you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? 10 being excellent, 1 being horrific. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at, Keith?
Well, because I'm doing better physically, which is helping the mental, I want to say I'm right at my 8. I'm feeling
Okay.
good today. This was awesome. And I want to thank
Okay.
you for the invite and also let the world know that Kelly has been a lifelong friend. We might not have known each other as kids, but we became friends through a mutual friend. But is more like a sister to me now. I love her to death. And I probably owe you millions for all the therapy you've given me over the years, even before she became a social worker, people. She was, and Kelly knows how she's seen my growth. If anybody can say they've watched and knows everything about me, this woman does. But I want to thank you, Kelly. This was awesome. So I'm about at 8. Now I'm hoping by Monday when I go back to work that I'm back at my 10.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Hall?
I'm a strong 8. I'm
Okay.
a strong 8. Maybe I would be a 9, but I don't have the best. That's a self-care. I don't have the best sleeping habits. And I think after my father passed in 2015, I never was a good sleeper, but it got worse. So I was telling someone earlier today that that's one of my goals for this year is to get better rest. I don't sleep like I should, but my support system is tremendous. And I don't believe in 49 years I've ever been as content and as happy as I am right now, totally as far as on a social level, relationship level, as far as my job, my support system is phenomenal, and I'm tremendously blessed. And I also want to thank you, Dr. Cornish, for allowing me um, to be a part of this because it's therapy is in the conversation in itself. So it gave me if I had peace when I first got on here, it got on HGH and some steroids once I started talking y'all, and for maybe a few seconds or a minute, I almost forgot that this was being recorded
Right.
because of these relationships
Yeah.
that I have right here. So thank you again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
This is what is so important for me, this natural flow, the authentic talk. And I want to bring it home with this to show you how tricky mental health is, right? So I'm glad you guys asked me how I felt on a scale of 1 to 10. Didn't I tell y'all to use it? I did. Call to action, right? Call to action. But I just wanted to
Oops.
show why this is important, right? So if you would have asked me, I would have told you that I've been operating on a 4 or 5. But here I am smiling. Here I am showing up. Here I am being who I am, right? But I've been struggling for months, right? Months. That's how tricky mental health is. If you don't acknowledge it, you can't move through it, right? You don't. So you guys know, I lost my father. I just recently lost other family members, right? It's just been nonstop for me the past couple years. And finally, the brake pedal is being pushed. But I still show up. I'm
Yeah.
not in denial about anything, right? No, I haven't been good. About a 5. But here I am. And this is how come mental health gets overlooked. Nobody would think to ask someone who was smiling,
Mm,
right? Who was interacting, how are you feeling? You're just assuming everything is okay. And that's why this conversation is important. If you don't ask, you'll never know, right? You'll never know. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to end with something, and then we are going to wrap it up. Who's going first?
he is.
All right, you might 30 seconds to a minute. Like we still got a couple, but it's
Okay,
okay.
I'm gonna say a quote. I'm just let it marinate.
All right, let's go.
Little food can seem filling if it's been a long time since you ate, and you will truly know what love is if you've been exposed to an abundance of hate.
Wow.
You should have went first. You should
I know. I
have went
know.
first.
I
No,
always have
wait,
to
Jerome.
follow these
Keith, you
great,
should have
but
went first. All right, come on. Final
no.
thoughts.
No, I just
Final
want to
thoughts.
just again just be thankful for this. You know me well enough to know I have no problem, and that's why I will return being open and honest. Like I said, the credit to you for you being in my life all these years and being a great support system. So I'm super excited for this because it's needed. It is so needed. Like I said, I've been doing my job 31 years, and I listen to these young men every day. And I share with some of them who I know can really get something out. I share them my story. And they're blown away because, like you said, they'll go, "Oh, Miss Bryant, you got the motorcycle, you got the house, you good." No, I wasn't always good.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Okay.
I just want to close with being thankful that you finally got this started.
I've been sitting on it for a while. And with
Yeah,
that
we
being
just talked the
said,
other day. I didn't know if it
yeah,
was still going to go through, but
I'm not taking the foot off the gas pedal in
all right.
2026. It is a commitment that I made to myself. So all the things that I've been sitting behind closed doors doing, they will manifest this year. They're there. I've just been waiting. So here we are. So thank you for joining another episode of Kicking It with Dr. Kelz. Keith Bryant, Jamal Hall, you have been amazing and wonderful. Make sure you guys tune in. I will be posting it on YouTube and I will upload the actual video back to Facebook, probably tag it to Instagram, share it, share. Let's make a movement. If you have not been over to my YouTube, I'm going to post the link. Go over there, subscribe, because I think I'm going to go to living on YouTube. It's so much easier, right? So I'm going to do that. Pick up a copy of my books, hats, book 1 and 2. It's not about me, but I'm going to take the promotional. I have book 3 on the way where Maya is going to be working through those hats. So all I need to do is format that. So you'll be seeing that soon too. So check out my videos. Check me out. If you want to
She's
be a
going to
part
help
of
me write
this,
my first book.
hop on here, get on in here, come see me. All right. So God bless you all. And as always, grace, peace, and blessings over your life. And I will see you on the next podcast episode.